100.1 Moose FM's Afternoon Drive with Chris Walker.
I'm here with a couple of nervous Nellies this afternoon. Bless their hearts. Shelley and Daina from the Fort St. John Home Hardware Building Center. We were just talking about, like, are you gonna tell us, like, who goes when, who talks when? What's the worst that could happen? Chris, we're taking your job? Good. I can go home for a nap. I'm fine with that. Where do we want to start? Ladies, Fort St. John Home Hardware Building Center supports this community like no other. You're constantly giving back in one way or the next, and we'll come back to Bluey Day. But other than Bluey Day, what are some of your favorite ways that you've given back to the community, that you've supported the community? Daina?
Well, we do the Have a Heart Radiothon that's coming up in June. We do the toy drive with the Salvation Army, and we also partnered with Straight, so they've been a big supporter as well. We just try to help out whenever we can. People reach out looking for help. We've helped the Women's Resource Society. We've helped the Literacy Society. We've helped the Baby's Best Chance, North Peace Pregnancy Care. We've just helped. If people reach out and we know that they're in need, we try to help in any way that we can.
Shelley, anything different from you? Or are there any specific ways that you guys have given back that really stick out? Or is there a favorite of yours?
We have a couple of favorites. The Hospital Foundation is definitely one of our favorites, primarily because they're great and they do so much for our community, but also because at some point in everybody's life, you will, whether it's for good health or for poor health, you will have to go there and have tests or visit people or do something. We all will rely on the hospital at some point. And then our firefighters. Our firefighters are another group that we really, really like to support. Of course, these two aren't inclusive, but our firefighters, again, they are one of those groups out there. For one, as a community group, they do so much volunteer for our community. There's so much more than the very important role they play as first responders. And they're one of those groups that, again, you really, really hope you never, ever have to call upon their services. But in the event that you ever do, you are really thankful they're the great group of people that they are.
You're telling me that those guys just aren't out hanging out, cooking chili and only putting out fires? No. It's not all about rescuing cats from trees?
Yep. When they're past all those events, they are out there supporting the community and doing volunteer work themselves.
They're so good, and we could not
they are
ask
amazing.
for better.
Yes.
We really couldn't. You mentioned Bluey Day and the Hospital Foundation. I will pose this to both of you, either of you. Why is Bluey Day so important specifically? Because, of course, Hospital Foundation, they also do a ridiculous amount of work for us throughout the run of a year. But Bluey Day seems to be one of those things that the entire community gets behind. Why are you guys behind it?
I think one of the primary reasons we're behind it is, one, it's 100% local. So all the funds that go towards Bluey Day do stay at our local hospital, and they do help support those that are touched by cancer. And I think the other part of it is that at some point, we're all going to be touched by a friend, a loved one, a family member, a coworker, somebody that has been touched by cancer. And just knowing that they can stay closer to their friends and family and have that moral support, that is such a huge part of healing, is just to have that support. And Bluey Days gives the hospital resources to allow those people to stay closer to family.
I mean, the way that we've constantly been putting it over the past few weeks is, if you're out there and your life hasn't been touched by cancer, you're probably literally the only one. You're not one in a million.
You're minimal.
You are the only one, because whether it is directly and it is you yourself, whether it is indirectly in a very close family member, a friend, a coworker, somebody you know has been touched by it. So why not receive the best treatment, the best care here? It helps the family so much. Daina, we'll go over to you, because I don't like you being quiet for as long as you are. That's not in your character at all. Let's talk about Bryson.
He knows you well.
Let's talk about Bryson and Alex. Every year, you guys have a couple, usually young gents, since I've been here, step up and say, you know what? Yeah, sure, we'll get involved. We'll shave our heads. And I think these are the two for this year. Tell us a bit about those guys and how we can donate to them.
Well, they're a great group. This year, I just happened to get an email, and I seen the Bluey Day come across, and I said, who's going to be our challengers? And Bryson right away was like, I will. And then Alex just happened to be walking by my office.
Oh, that's one of those things.
I heard you're challenging each other, and it just went from there. So Bryson's one of our estimators. Alex is out in the yard. They're great. I think they've both been touched by cancer. Bryson, I know, recently had a loss. So it's very true to his heart. And they just want to help the community the best that they can.
Great young fellas. Love
And
them
who
to death.
doesn't love a good challenge?
And who doesn't
Yeah,
love
a chance
a good
to
challenge?
win.
And that was going to be my question. What is the challenge and what are we winning?
Well, they're challenging each other. Sorry about that. And the person that raises the most doesn't have to shave. So the person that raises the least does have to shave. If their donations are really close, then they will, or if they're the same, then they will both shave. And not really to put the challenge out there, but we have ways of getting them really close.
I love it. That's what I was hoping for. Like, yeah, sure, the challenge is out there. The community can donate to one or the other or both.
Yeah.
Just saying, or both. Anything else fun that you guys have going on, or should we talk about what Home Hardware is matching?
Well, we're doing our till campaign. So the cashiers, they're going to ask you when you come in if you'd like to donate. That money goes into
And the
a
answer
general
should be
pot.
yes. The answer should always be yes. We're throwing that out there. Now, sorry, you were saying general pot.
So we put it into a general pot, and then they have to compete for it. So last year we did some fun challenges. They did Chubby Bunny. You had to fill your mouth with marshmallows until you couldn't talk. We did some, who can saw a piece of 2x4 faster than the other. So it was quite fun. And then they get to win the money for that pot. So they either have to get their own people to come in or they got to win the pot, because whoever gets the most money, the other one's shaving. So
That's
last year
hilarious.
it happened to be a tie. Not really sure how that came about. But,
I have no idea.
They
Sure.
both had to shave, so it was quite fun. And one of our staff last year actually shaved his eyebrows off, was part of the deal. So
Woof. Boys, Bryce and Alex, if you're out there, you're watching and listening, I'm here to tell you, you'll at least save some money in shampoo and conditioner for a little while. Let's go back over to Shelley for a second, because I do want to talk about matching donations. Again, we're talking about the Fort St. John Home Hardware Building Center giving back in 1,000 different ways, but this is a direct contribution for you guys.
Yes. So what we're going to do is our first 3,000 donations that come in, we will match dollar for dollar.
$3,000 worth of donations, not
yes.
3,000. If somebody shows up and you get $3,100 donations, we're not matching that.
Yes.
The first $3,000 worth of donations.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. $3,000 worth. And that money will go into the challenge pot as well, where they can use that money to do the challenges against each other. So the other thing is that if you are good friends with one of these gentlemen and you are wanting to see them shave, come in and donate to the challenger.
Yeah.
So don't just donate to them necessarily, but donate to the challenger. Make it a little bit more difficult for them.
Mm-hmm. Make them earn it.
Make them earn it. Yes.
Oh, that's so much fun.
we got heckled a lot last year because we were trying to make it even. So I went and donated some money to the other person. Well, then they were like, "Oh, Daina's got a favorite."
Picking favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I'm just throwing it out there, Daina. If you do want to donate, you can donate to me as well. And then we'll really show them the favorites. Not you guys. I'm up at Moose. So we're talking about taking cash at the tills. Bryson and Alex are going to be facing off to win that cash. $3,000 in matching donations for the first 3,000 that are donated. And if you're out there and you're watching, as opposed to listening through traditional radio, I have added a link down below, but you could donate $100 to the link. Or you can go down Home Hardware. Donate your 100 there. That turns into 200. Easy as that. Ladies, am I missing anything else, or have we pretty much touched on it all?
I think you've got her well covered.
All right. Like to hear it. Shelley, Daina, thank you, ladies, so much for coming in. Thank you guys so much for the work that you do, and not only supporting Bluey Day, but supporting the community.
Our pleasure.
Awesome.